You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, everybody. John's in a good mood. He's come back from one of his multiple vacations.
John's finally back.
You're trying to hit 50 this year,
This
right?
will be my last win. This will be my last Wednesday.
I mean, you're closing in, buddy. You better hurry up, man. What are you at, like 48?
The true story is my wife is looking for to go away for Christmas again. We went away for Christmas last year, and at the time she hated it, but now she's looking at the pictures and she's talking to her sisters, and she said, "Where would you like to go for Christmas?" And I was
You
like,
told her stuff she sees on social media is not necessarily true, right?
She's like, "Where would
Has
you
she watched this show?
She asked me, "Where do you want to go for Christmas?" I said, "Downstairs." That's where I want to go for Christmas. I'm not really interested in the whole.
So got Preston in the house, Jeff wedding,
CJ
easy go lucky. What's going on, buddy?
Who's
CJ
number
design.
one on Wednesday?
Ken Bird, yeah, I think it was. Welcome, guys. Alec, how's your week been? How's your Thanksgiving?
The week's going. Thanksgiving was awesome. I hope yours went well too.
So, yeah, it was uneventful. I was telling everybody who was with us on Monday. You know, my daughter did Thanksgiving for the first time, and it turned out okay.
I was going to ask you how that went.
Yeah, it was good. She did a good job. I got to admit, she did a good job.
Awesome.
Turkey was good.
Nice.
She did forget the cranberry sauce, so that was kind of a minus. She forgot the etiquette of sending us home with doggy bags, so I took one of the 2 pies I brought back.
Yeah, this sounded ugly.
Yeah, it was, look, if you're not going to give me anything, I might get hungry. Pick a pie. You want the apple, you want the pumpkin, I'm taking the other one back. So yeah, but other than that, it was relatively uneventful, which is always a good thing.
It's the second Thanksgiving in a row I didn't cook, so I've been extremely happy.
Yeah, and coming back from yet another vacation probably doesn't hurt either.
I don't know if a few days down the shore constitutes a vacation.
For everybody else in the working world, it does, John.
It's under a week. So that's
Even
kinda
to
like,
me, that's a vacation.
Lyle, very good. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for letting me know, man. I'm sorry about that snafu, but I'm glad you got it, buddy.
This is
And Weird, what's up, buddy?
This is the time of year in our area where if you want to rent like something, bayfront or oceanfront or whatever, it's real cheap.
You don't have a word for that. Wait, they call it vacation.
It's just a little off-season,
Vacation. No matter how
Vacation.
you can't spin this, buddy. Okay, all right. The fact that you're retired it is not within a 5-mile radius of your main domicile. Is correct?
It was in a 5-mile radius where I grew up.
When the IRS comes looking, what is the property of record for you? Okay?
Oh, the IRS always comes looking.
And the property of record is
Gator Drive.
okay then. You'll have to let Nick
That
know
autograph Nick gave me. I have bad news.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
God.
it's
Oh man. So it's been. I feel. I don't know. This week I feel like I'm
low energy.
I'm low energy.
Well, this has been the worst new comic book day I can remember in modern history. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
It was definitely really small.
Alex, like, whoa, wait, let me get my notes from my
Alex
my
Spring
live stream. I agree with you, John.
No. I'm only messing around.
All right, so you know what? Let's get the best offer books out of the way. All right, so first up, we have Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year #1, signed in silver by Mark Russell. Suggested retail is $69.99. It is 8 of only 60 signed. And it is a best offer item starting at $15.
Mark Russell patiently answered all 4 of my questions about Lone Ranger 2018.
Name drop. Pick them up. Pick them up. Saddle up to the bar, boys.
He was one.
John. Hey, yeah, buddy. I was thinking of you when I put that on.
I feel like I don't count that as a real name drop, though.
Yo. There are bourbon companies throughout the United States having a hard time of it because of inflation, bud. Okay? Support local business. I think a few of them are by your neck of the woods. Okay? Don't talk like that.
Bluebird, are you near Bluebird Distilling?
I think that's directed at you, Alex.
Alex, are you near Bluebird Distilling?
No, I was gonna say I've never heard of that. I wasn't sure if you were talking to me.
They make maybe the best tasting bourbon north of the Mason-Dixon line that I've tried.
What's it called? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Bluebird, you said?
Bluebird Distilling. It's in maybe Phoenixville.
It is. Right, good call. It is Phoenixville.
A friend
That's
of mine
not too far from me.
No, it's a little further east. Right?
If you're a bourbon fan, it's probably worth the drive.
Yeah.
Possibly Uber ride back. I don't know how to do the math there. But
no, it's not that close. That'd be an expensive Uber.
That's why I like Zed's. After one night I was waiting for the Uber and the owner said, she's like, I'll drive you home. I know where you live. And she just drove me home one time.
I've had the Uber from Philadelphia, like Center City, Philly to Westchester before, and I think that was like $130 Uber.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
No,
I've only taken a ride share one time in my entire life. I swear to God.
How do you get to the airport from the hotel and stuff?
Well, whenever I travel, I either get a ride from somebody or
you rent a car?
Or what, to the airport?
No, I mean when you go on business for Dynamite and you're going to Chicago or
I don't
Seattle.
think I've gone anywhere for Dynamite since I've come back. It's a pandemic.
Okay.
No, but normally I'll either go to Smart Park. I park at in Philly International. I like them. They're good. Their cars are really easy to find. They're under countries, much easier than a number and a letter.
Yeah, the last time my wife was like at Sun Park or something, she was in
they're sucking.
Orange Elemento P, and I'm like, come on, man. No. She's like looking for a car for an hour, and I'm like, just give somebody.
It's real easy. I like the way they do it. You know, I'm parked in France. I'm parked in Brazil, and I have to tell you that again, softball story. Came home on a red eye from Denver, and a whole bunch of us, families and players, are on the same flight. And we all get out, get our bags, and we're all waiting there, and everybody's parked somewhere long-term parking. I call Smart Park. Everybody's calling. Smart Park comes pulling up first within the first 10 or 15 minutes. Me and my daughter get on. I turn back. I lean out the door. I give them the Queen's wave to all the people still waiting at the curb. Bye-bye. See you later. But, yeah, that's what I do. But the only time I've taken a ride share was Lyft, and it was because the Pep Boys ordered the wrong size tires.
Okay.
And then told me it was one time. They said, "All right, we'll take care of you. We'll get a lift and bring you from the office, back to the shop." So, but other than that, I've never done. Yeah, I'm not in. I don't know. Call me what you will. I'll either get a ride now. My daughter, has a brand new car, so she can drive. Okay, a car. I paid for that car. She can drive. She uses my gas card all the time. She can drive. Why do I got to call some stranger to come get me?
Speaking of 2018 Comic-Con, where I talked to Mark Russell, or maybe 2017 Comic-Con, in San Diego, where I'm talking to Mark Russell about Lone Ranger or whatever. The end of the con comes, and I'm like, I need to get a ride back to the hotel. True story.
This is the name drop. I feel it.
No, there wasn't. 90 minutes. Well, a little bit of name drop. 90 minutes, literally nothing happens. I'm sitting out there and I hear a gentleman behind me, a little bit of an Australian accent, say, "Doesn't look like we're leaving." I turn around and it's an actor named John Noble, who's been in a bunch of stuff, including I can't even name it, one of my favorite shows now. It was about alternate realities and stuff like that. And I looked at him and I said, "Are we staying another day?" And he looks, and the line for cabs and stuff just runs down the block. So he looks and he turns to the girl with him. She looked like she was his admin or whatever. He's like, "We're not leaving today." And he turns around. So I looked, I grabbed my bag, I went right back to the concierge. I was like, "I'm leaving my room for another night." And the guy looks and he was like, of course, since I'm not on TV, he's like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to stay another night." And the guy's like, "Okay." And I was like, "You couldn't get," I said, "Do you even clean my room yet?" He's like, "No." I said, "Clean my room. I'll wait at the bar. I'm going back. I'll go tomorrow." The next day, I told the hotel I had to stay overnight. The next day, they had a nice town car from the Hilton Bayfront take me to the airport because they felt so bad.
Oh, that's nice.
They didn't feel bad. They didn't feel bad enough to not charge me another $686 for the room.
Why would they?
But it was nice that they.
It's not their fault that you waited too long to catch a cab. John Spilios. All right, buddy. You know what?
We're doing what you call first.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Punisher first for our buddy John. All right, so it is X-Men Battle of the Atom #1, signed with Punisher cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail is $149.99. We have the one available for $74 for 1974 when the Punisher first appeared. All right, so there you go, Preston. Let me know if you want it, buddy.
Man, John will probably want that, not Preston.
Oh, I mean John. Sorry.
I love
it's already been a long week.
He did such a good job with the little purples in there. Because remember, there's that time where, like, that period where the Punisher almost looks like he's in purple and white because of the way they did the coloring process back then. That's like a nice callback. I really like that.
Yeah, you think that Mariano guy might know something about coloring? Huh?
Bring him in here. I have questions about the coloring choices.
You always have questions. All right, John, you got it, buddy. Yeah, when I got that, I said, you know what? I actually got it today, and said, you know what? I'm gonna throw it on there. I know John's gonna want to jump on that. All right. So
that's very cool.
All right. So our next best offer is Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash #1 subscription variants, signed and true remark by cover artist Ken Hazer.
That's really cool too.
Oh, that one I did. That one was like in the bowels. Suggested retail of $39.99. It's going to be our first best offer item, or our second best offer item, starting at $10. All right. Final best offer book of the night. We have Batman. This one is actually new.
Now, is this really the last best offer of the night, or is this the last best offer until you work your way down your list and go, "Oh, there was another best offer book"?
Yes.
Yes.
All I got for you, John. I have limited range.
Everybody watching the show knows exactly what I'm talking about. Preston is in for $10.
I got you, Preston. So this is going to be a punchy show because I'm really tired tonight. I don't know why.
I've had quite a bit of bourbon.
What's that?
No, I said I've had quite a bit of bourbon.
I wish. All right, so
if you get a chance, Bluebird Distillery. They have 2 or 3 different kinds of bourbon. The blue label is the one you want to go with, even though it's a little bit more. It's like another $28, but it's totally worth it.
John, whatever we talk about during the show, I forget immediately after the show. Okay, you'll have to text me about this later.
Hold on. So
the last one for now.
If that blue label's an extra $28 and totally worth it, what's the actual cost of the regular? Because usually when I get a bottle, it's about $25 to $28. So we're talking like a $60 bottle here?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. I think I got...
Money is no object to John. I thought you knew that, Alex.
There was like a 3-bottle, 2-tumbler wooden box set for like $200 that a buddy got me.
Oh, that sounds awesome, though.
It was... He lives right near there, and he was just like, I saw this and I saw you, and it would be perfect.
All right, so final best offer book, as Ed Weird says for now. Batman #125, signed with Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. All right, this actually just came in from Ken. Suggested retail of $99.99. It is going to be a best offer book starting at $39.
He just posted this. He just posted this like a little while ago on
Yeah.
his Instagram. He was like, "This is what he does like on my board. Like,
Yeah.
what he's working on."
Yeah.
He just posted this. That's too funny.
I catch those too.
I saw him make a post from one that was last week. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I was like, oh, we got that tonight.
That's no, we don't. You see, I watch Ken Hazer's Facebook page because then I can see what he's working on, and I can steal it from other departments before they can get their hands on it. Okay, because a lot of people are remote or in a satellite offices. You know, we have another office in New Jersey.
Did you see the post I had? I'm like, Ken, you're going to need to sign this next.
I'm in the building, right? So if I watch Ken Hazer and see what he's working on, bang, okay, Preston. It's because of the Regal Pass that money is no object to John. Okay, think about it.
A lot of money.
Okay,
I still don't know how they make money on that. Well, they don't make money
not off of you, bro.
They don't make money.
They're not making money off of you.
Every time I walk into the movie theater, I don't see the regular show or standard show or whatever. Everything I see is real 3D, RPX, whatever. So that anybody who goes to a movie theater now and you're sitting like an IMAX, RPX, or whatever, that ticket is like $20 or more, depending on when you go and what you're seeing.
John, we know they're not making money because they're in bankruptcy. Okay, you have personally, single-handedly put them in bankruptcy.
I was gonna say, when I saw Black Panther, that was like, I think $18. Yeah, the Dolby Cinema is what I saw. I think it was literally $18. And I was like,
got you,
oh my
Ron.
God, that's so expensive.
What's the thing? It's $18 for a ticket. I think it's $22 for the month. So literally, I have to see 2 movies to make it worth it. There are days where I
literally you're doubling up on days.
Movies, not alone.
Okay, what are you talking about? 2 on days you double up on them. Okay,
if it's a Marvel movie, yeah, I've seen
all right
3 or 4 times a day.
See, that's the other thing. I usually don't see 2 movies in a month. I don't go to the movies very often, so for me, I would have to get my money's worth by forcing myself to go.
Thing. It's not for everybody. Everybody's like, oh, I totally want that. And I'm like, do you though? Because if you're one of those people that take your family to the movie 6 or 7 times a year, it's totally not worth it for you.
There's really not a lot of good movies out there anyway. Like I feel like all the new movies I see, when I walk out of it, I'm like, it was all right. It was okay. And there's just not many good movies.
Well, I saw Disney's Strange World. Strange Planet?
I never even heard of it.
Strange Things.
Most people have not seen it. This movie is getting a lot of buzz because Disney hasn't promoted it. It had a terrible opening weekend because Disney didn't promote it. They're going to lose tens of millions of dollars. And people are saying this was sort of one of the motivating factors in Bob Iger coming back. People that are woke don't like the movie for this reason. People that aren't woke don't like the movie. All I hear are complaining about the movie, like everything. So of course it's made. I get my ticket. I've got my sushi. I'm going to go. I sit down about 25 minutes into this movie. It's the style Disney has done for a while. And you can make an argument. Maybe they should move on to a different animation style. Maybe they shouldn't. It kind of has the Baymax look. Right. If you've seen Baymax, you know what Big Hero 6, you kind of know what I'm talking about. About 25 minutes into this movie is very familiar. The plot of this movie is very familiar. 40 minutes into the movie, I'm wondering if Disney has sent Paul Chadwick a check. Because Paul Chadwick did, I think, a 4-issue series 14 years ago called The World Beneath. And it's basically a team of explorers going to explore a hole in the ground where weird stuff is happening. And that's essentially the plot of this movie. Now, I'm not going to say Paul Chadwick invented that idea. People have been going down holes forever.
Right.
But there was a lot of this movie that was familiar. And I'm wondering if, for these other reasons, Disney decided, we got Black Panther out there. We want to focus all our money on Black Panther. Let's maybe just let this one go. And whatever happens. This very much seems to me like, if you've ever done like a sailboat derby and that one kid's sailboat just kind of leaves, well, that's this movie. Absolutely go see it. Probably for someone like you, Alec, just wait till it's on Disney Plus.
That's how I do with like most things at this point. I feel like what also like always gets me is when you brought it up and you're like, oh yeah, it's like something's woke, it's not woke, blah blah blah. And if I tell someone like, oh yeah, I thought it was bad, or I don't like it because I think it's this, and they're like, oh, you just don't like it because you're all like, you don't like the woke stuff or you think it's woke. I'm like, dude, I just think it's bad. honestly. I don't think there's a good plot.
Well,
I don't think there's
people
good this.
seem to try to justify. You don't have to justify
Strange
your
World.
opinion.
There you go.
Strange World. Thank you. You don't have to justify your opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I've gone to a movie.
Well,
with
he's a
friend.
YouTuber, so he kind of
He's a
does.
YouTuber.
He does sort of have to explain his
How
opinion.
funny would that YouTube
Sometimes.
show be? I didn't like this movie. Good night.
I don't have to
Yeah.
tell you why. Click. Okay.
No, I just think it's more annoying is like people bring stuff up nowadays and it's like you have to be one side or the other. It's like, every Marvel
Oh,
movie, it's
yeah,
like,
no,
it's
I
woke,
get it.
it's not woke. Dude, it's either good or it's not good. You like it, you don't like it. I mean, why do you have to put labels on every single thing? Not everything has to fall into a
That's the way
category.
it works.
If
Zach.
you don't
That's
like
so
a movie
stupid.
because one of the characters is a certain religion or gender or race, I don't want to talk movies with you. That's what I tell people on Twitter all the time. If you want to talk about the director or scenes, or if it's like the comic book, let's go. We'll talk about this all day. As soon as you say, I don't like this person because they're tall or whatever, I didn't like the character, I was just like, okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back and see the movie again. Shut up.
I don't know. I guess creative keep. I'm woke
So-
around. I'm woke around 6 a.m. and then I'm asleep around 10
Thank you.
p.m.
That's my level of interest in people being awake.
I got a letter. Okay.
Is it
And
from
we
your
get
strange
letters.
son?
And no. But if I did, it would be kind of nice to
Do you
know
have a
that
cool
he
name
knows
like
that.
Joe Rex or Rex Sean or something? Or
Do I?
is he the abandoned son?
Yeah,
Since I
your
don't know
long
if
lost
it
son.
probably have anything to do with my name.
Was he raised by the squirrels? I sense the story coming.
Oh,
It all comes back to those
squirrels. Hit you in your head. Oh my God. I forgot my whole point now. Thank you very much, Mr. Cole.
Do you know you're employing an imaginary child abandoner? He's been trying to call on the show, sir.
All right, but however, I will throw this out here. Okay, so I got a letter in the mail. Okay, from at work. So every now and again, and this has been at every job I've ever worked for, every company. Every now and again, you get a letter, and I was kind of excited. It was hand addressed to me, in an envelope, whatever. And I open it up, and it's a handwritten letter on yellow legal size paper. And I'm reading the letter, and it dawned on me that really it's been years and years that I've received a letter of any real kind, a personal letter from anybody. Okay, and I remember there was a period in my life where I looked forward to it. I reading and writing letters, even because there would be some thought. You would rewrite things if it was somebody you were concerned with. The first girl I ever dated, we did not live in the same town, and we wrote each other for months. And I realized that all of a sudden the world is completely shifted, and that part is lost. And there's something to that, because I remember reading her letters and then reading letters that I kept years and years ago that I didn't send. You would think of something in the emotion of the moment, and then by the time you have to finish the letter and put it in an envelope, stick a stamp on it, write the address, stick it in the mailbox, you'll reread it. You've had time to to feel differently, and it's a much more polished way of communication with people, and that's lost now. Okay, because of the instantaneous way that you communicate, whether it be Twitter or whatever else, a text or Facebook or DMs or whatever. You could be drunk, off your keister, sitting on a couch, and you get this thought, and I'm texting, send. Okay, it's gone. All right, there's no taking it back. There's no rereading it later, and that's something that's very tangible. I think was lost. Now, granted, the letter that I received was from someone who is incarcerated in the state of Illinois, who has been buying Dynamite books. Hey, very happy that he's a Dynamite fan, but apparently, since he is incarcerated, he doesn't have internet access or anything like that. So he's asking me if he could get a discount on getting a subscription to Dynamite books here. Okay.
Please tell me you sent him to rex.wang@dynamite.com.
Well, actually, you can read the letter after the show. It's sitting on my desk. I have no idea how to deal with it. Okay. I'm sure that there are rules and regulations. I literally would have, not knowing, yes, Stevie B, I have a prison pen pal now.
There shouldn't be any.
Now she wasn't, but I have one now. So I would have literally sent 10 free random Dynamite titles, one of our 10 packs to him, just feeling sorry and in a Christmas spirit, if you will. And then a friend of mine told me, "Oh no, there are all kinds of rules and things you have to hop through to get any kind of shipment in prison."
You can't. Well, yeah.
I'm like, I'm way busy, man. I mean, if it's just packing 10 Dynamite comics and sending it to an address, that's one thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
like, whoa, he could be in jail for murder for all I know. I was just trying to be nice, but no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, something's lost. I really believe something's lost.
I was gonna say I don't think there's anything major against that. The correctional facility the correctional facility that I worked at, they got stuff all the time.
He said worked at. The correctional facility they locked me up in.
Yeah, well, I used to tell people. I actually used to always tell people, "Oh yeah, I used to be in prison," and they'd be like, "What?" Yeah, that's how I used to always start the conversation. Yeah, I used to be in prison, and
you seem like such a cool dude.
Yeah, well, I was a correctional officer, so. But yeah, they used to get packages all the time. It just goes straight to the mailroom, and they have to go through it to make sure there's nothing there.
Right. Well, he's going to another, I guess, an LCS or something, and he's hoping to get cheaper pricing. I guess getting it direct from us.
Worked for me.
Yeah. So I sent it to our prison. I forwarded it to our prison department.
That's honestly some absolute dedication. You are literally locked up, and your main worry is getting your weekly subscription. That's dedication.
Comic fan, and it's Dynamite titles. So we have fans all over the place. But I sent it to our prison department, which is the same department that takes care of John's emails.
I was going to say he's challenging me for Dynamite Superfan.
I thought there was a human being that worked there, but I've never actually met them. So
my number one letter to you if I'm in prison is I need a nail file from Barbarella.
Marcus, he wants the metal covers to make a shift. I was going to send him metal covers too. Good point.
Oh, that's great.
Good
man.
point. All of a sudden,
it's just a comic book cover from Dynamite.
All of a sudden, I have the Department of Correction knocking on my door. Excuse me, sir. You're under arrest for sending illegal weapons into.
Later that night.
Oh my God. So, but no, it was kind of nice, and then I'm reading the letter, going, "Oh wow, okay." And that explains why he sent me a letter. But I'm just, so that's one of the things that's changed, and I think it's really changed how we deal with each other.
Oh yeah, moral of the story. Back to the beginning. It's letters.
Yes, it was letters. And Weird goes, he could probably get a case of cigarettes from one of those hot Vaporella covers. Maybe. Okay. All right, but I like Marcus's.
His prison name is Collars.
Collars. Yo, Collars. Oh my God. All right. So this show could go anywhere. So we got to go to our first break. But as you can see, I'm somewhat punchy. John's euphoric from vacation. Alex just sitting there going, "Oh dear
the
God!"
Letter starts off, "Dear Dad." Yes. Oh, no wonder he can only call during the show. He only gets public phone
I'm going to be an old guy, and it'll be me and my abandoned imaginary son and Cornelius the squirrel.
No,
that's going to be my Thanksgiving soon.
There's a talent agency over in Philadelphia that a friend of mine, they're in her building. I'm going to ask her to start looking through books to see who looks like you and is about 20 years old and have them here on the show. Yes, I am indeed the abandoned. Actors will do anything for like $100 and some exposure.
Oh my God!
We got a baseball hat for him, but instead the M would be a W. It would be great.
Oh my God! Too funny. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comic Crib. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
up, everybody? Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Steve Padmorian. I'm drawing 20th Century Man, and you can watch us on Experience. Thank you.
All right, we're back. All right, you know what? We're gonna do announce the giveaway real quick. All right, so we got a giveaway tonight. Also, CGC. It is a Alien #1 Gleason variant, CGC 9.6. Actually, it's not a 9.8. That is the giveaway. Right now. That is the giveaway of
nice.
And all you have to do is enter hashtag. JD, make one up for us, buddy. Hashtag LoveEXP, all lowercase, and it is a 9.6, not a 9.8.
R.I.P. Kyle, didn't they say he was sick again?
That's too late now. Put it up.
R.I.P. Kyle.
If you're watching, Kyle, we hope you feel better, buddy, but we're not changing it. Stevie B had to duck out for some turkey soup. I want turkey soup now.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it does. All right, so lowercase. Love EXP, hashtag Love EXP.
And there it is.
Just throw it up on the chat to enter the contest for the Alien #1 9.6.
It's that awesome Gleason cover, too.
It is. All right, and this is a good segue into we have Alien #1 signed in gold by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is number 21 of only 25 signed in gold. And then we have the one available for $50, 5-star, $50 book.
I think a lot of people when Marvel decided that
this just came in as well.
When Marvel got Alien, I think there was some a little bit because if you were a Dark Horse fan, you're used to seeing some pretty top-notch stuff. I can't complain. I think Marvel has done really well, both covers and the story of Alien so far. Now, really, they're just scratching the surface, but I really enjoyed the kind of Dark Horse, Alien, Terminator, Predator. I enjoyed all those books quite a bit. When I see them kind of beginning to slide over, to the House of Ideas, I'm like, immediately my first thought is it's going to be like Marvel team up, Predator and Spider-Man or whatever. But like I said, the first Alien story they did was very good, I thought.
No, I agree. I think Marvel's doing a great job with it. I don't think this newest volume is that good, though. And I say that mainly because I don't know if you're reading it, but they're focused more on the synthetics, and they kind of have powers. So it's like, I don't want to call it a superhero alien story, but they have some powers, and they're stronger than regular humans. So you know what I mean?
I remember back in the day, Dark Horse had a story like that. They weren't superheroes per se, but in their corner of the universe, the aliens were so feared. They were like genetically engineering people. It was very Blade Runner. Like these people were stronger and faster and could fight the aliens, but their lifespan was real short.
Right.
And I remember, I remember the story. The guy is there. It's a little bit of a Blade Runner callback. He's like, "What are we fighting for?" Because more and more people want to be altered, right? Basically cutting down their lifespan. So he's like, "What difference does it make if we do this to ourselves or if the aliens get us?" That's sort of like the end of. And this is probably easily 20 years ago or more. But I just remember thinking that was like a very cool sort of, you know what I mean? Like the guy gets back and like nobody wanted to do this. They go out and fight the aliens and they survive. A few of them come back and they're like, it's possible to defeat an alien. So there's like a zillion people the next day waiting to have this done. And he's like, wait a minute. I did all this and had to sacrifice my life and now you're all going to do it? That's exactly why. And this is the exact opposite of why I did this, I think if I remember correctly, like his daughter is on the line or something. She's a young daughter,
Danilo, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us, man.
Nice.
All right. So let's do a Dynamite book. All right. So now we have Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids #3 Virgin Premium Metal cover by Joe Simcoe. All right. This one just came in as well.
This looks so good in metal.
Suggested retail of 100, and we have the one available for 50.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah, Lyle, there you go. We actually have a lot of Canadians here that watch our show. But Danilo joined us on one of our other shows.
I'll tell you right now, if that Tim Hortons hadn't opened up down in Strathmere, I was getting ready to appear at the Canadian Embassy and ask for like culinary asylum. Because when I'm in Canada, I've been to Canada for some cons and shows and business over the years. I love Tim Hortons. I realize it's kind of
I can see the Canadians going, there's a war in the Ukraine, but this guy wants culinary asylum.
I was like, man, and I was getting the coffee from, you can get real Tim Hortons coffee if you go to Amazon, go to the bottom, change your country of origin, you can order directly from Canada. So I was getting like the real Tim Hortons coffee, not that sort of.
I can get real coffee from the Keurig in the kitchen.
That is not real coffee. That's like some, no. Every time you put that pod in, I weep. A little part of me dies inside. I'm like, what are you doing? You deserve better.
If only every time I put a pod in, it would cut down on the number of emails.
That's impossible.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you there.
And of course, there's people in parts of the country that are like, wait, you don't have Tim Hortons? I mean, upstate New York, Ohio, there's tons of places where people go to Tim Hortons every morning. You go to Tim Hortons and you spend a week in.
They have them in California, too.
They hadn't made it here. They hadn't made it here. And finally, I guess they signed a deal to really expand. Somebody said there was going to be one in City Walk at Universal, but I don't know if that opened yet.
Lyle, Nescafe makes something like a Keurig. I had an age.
Nespresso.
Oh, Nespresso. That's it.
Nespresso is actual.
And they're like
coffee.
Little, and they're
That's
good.
Real coffee.
It's really good. But the problem is I didn't want to buy one here because you can't find the pods anywhere. They're real difficult to get.
That's an Amazon thing.
A lot of stuff that I want, it's like, I need coffee. And I run out to ShopRite and grab it off the shelves. Dude, I can't be Amazoning and waiting a day.
Between this and the Viewmasters, Alec is going to need the young to old dictionary to translate what's
How do I get the time to work on the remote control?
Why does it keep flashing midnight, Alec?
Stop.
Come over and help me.
Oh, you know what? Before we forget, I want to mention this.
If
you are anywhere in the Los Angeles area this weekend, LA Comic Con, they have a loaded stuff. We've got some Dynamite creators that are going to be over there. Dave Avalone is going to be over there. You can catch cosplayer Gracie, the cosplay lass. She's going to be there for at least part of the weekend as Red Sonja. And I think she's meeting up with some other Red Sonjas, and they were talking about, buying drinks or whatever. And Rachel Holland, who I'm not 100% sure about.
Creative Keep is right down the street.
I think Rachel Holland currently maybe holds the record for like the most covers. I'm not 100% sure. She's going to be she posted a map of where she's going to be, but she's going to be located between Writers Row and Artist Alley. And she's going to have con-exclusive covers, con-exclusive comics,
right.
Cosplay covers that she's signing, personalizing, doing whatever. There's a couple other people that have rumored to have been there, but they haven't announced it, so I didn't want to say it. But this is a chance to sort of, some Dynamite creators will be over there. They'll be signing some books. The cosplayers will be over there, time to get pictures and whatnot. This is also, a lot of these cosplayers have their own store, where they sort of can kind of personalize stuff for you.
Right.
But this is a chance to actually, if you're in that area, and then of course it's a con. They have some really cool stuff.
Creative looks like he'd be willing to go.
They have like a Battlestar Galactica peacock thing.
Creative, make sure you drop John Cole's name, and that'll get you escorted out of the building in 9 seconds flat. John's giving me the evil eye.
It's not the evil eye.
John's looking at you like, you kidding me right now? He said, I just show up and they let me in. They know me. They know me.
No, that's if you're going to Morton Steakhouse or something, they might do that.
The best way to go to a con is to pay the outrageous upcharge, and you get the really nice badge. There's only a certain
This falls
number
into the money has no object category again.
In the beginning, I would go to cons and I would sleep in a car. I would wait with all the sort of
wait. Had they invented the printing press yet?
Nice. Sleep in a rental car. It was horrible and a hot thing. First time I went to San Diego, I was in a hotel like 19 miles away. I was like, oh, this is awful. The first time I went to Emerald City Comic Con, I was almost an hour away because that was the only thing with running water I could afford. So now when there's an opportunity to get higher level badges through like Hilton or Marriott, which we have memberships to both, my wife and I take it. And they're like, well, there's a significant upcharge.
So Preston's like, maybe Creative can tell him he's waiting on Megan Fox. That was the Mariano story. Was it on this show or was it on Monday?
Yeah, no, that was the
the best story of all time.
That's a great story. I'm waiting for Megan Fox.
Oh my God.
That guy got fired.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's get to another book. We got Batman and Robin #1, signed by artist Frank Quitely. And it is number 4 of only 100 signed. And we have one for $39.99. And Quitely's signature is pretty tough to get since he resides in Scotland, the place where they know how to make liquor because they invented Scotch. And they also invented,
Does he live in like a dark foreboding tower like Alan Moore? Looking down at people with like lightning flashing and a mean face, or
I have no idea. I've always wanted to go to Scotland though, because any country that invents a liquor that is so good,
they named it after themselves.
No, that all of a sudden men decide to wear skirts with no underwear. That has got to be some good alcohol right there. When that becomes a good decision, it's not spelled that way.
Yeah, I think it's Quiet.
See, the problem, Nick, is it's a funny joke, but nobody can hear you say it because you're saying it quietly.
That's the point.
No, I know that, but I get the joke. But I'm saying nobody else gets the joke because they can't hear you.
That's why you're supposed to repeat it.
Yeah, here's where I don't get that.
Unfortunately, it's spelled quickly, but I've been informed that it's quiet.
Frank Quietly, you learn to cover. Thanks,
Right.
Rex.
So, Lyle Hobson, Glenn Fittich, I love single malt. Apparently, single malt does not love me back. I've been told by numerous people who've been around me when I drink single malt. Apparently, I get very angry. I don't notice it myself, but there have been enough.
You're angry. I mean,
Oh no! I mean, like kind of Mike Tyson sort of angry. Yeah.
Dude, you ain't like $1.30 soaking wet. You better not be getting.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Though, and the same thing does not happen when I drink bourbon. Why?
Maybe it's the sugar content. I mean, seriously, it might be the sugar content.
I could eat a Snickers bar and drink a Coke, and no, I don't think it's sugar. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's the wood. It's got to be.
Maybe. I'm not like a mixologist or whatever.
Canadian moonshine 135% proof with root beer.
Good Lord. Okay. No, thank you.
I'd be willing to try that. That sounds interesting.
I have tried moonshine that they make out in Lancaster.
I've had moonshine in Virginia.
Lebanon County.
I can't do corn moonshine. Not because of the way it goes down, mainly because of the way it comes back up.
Ooh.
So that's yeah.
You haven't lived until you've drank corn squeezing from a mayonnaise jar.
Ooh.
Hold on.
Mason jars. Yeah.
The old, metal top, and you're drinking it. And,
So yeah, I've had my fair share, but I'm trying something new.
Sounds gross.
A challenge for my daughter. I have been dry now for quite some time. I have not had anything to drink, which is unusual.
So much is explained now. Oh my God, I should have brought beer. Oh my God, I should have brought beer.
Don't make me angry.
My friend that Zed
You won't like me if I'm
My
when I'm
friend
angry.
that Zed has a solution.
Oh my god. But yeah, I used to get regular moonshine. It was a guy who knew a guy, which kind of makes me nervous.
That's how it always is. Like
I was literally gonna say, isn't that how it always is?
You know,
it's like in a milk crate. You know what I mean? It's not like in a real box or anything. It's like some guy takes his wife's mason jars and they stick a bunch of them in like a milk crate from Wawa, and they just drive off, and they're like, "Hey."
I remember the first time I picked up from my buddy's house, felt like a scene out of Dukes of Hazzard, except I was driving a Mazda. It was red though. Oh man. Let's see. Danilo says when it's 65 degrees cool, what you do is not Tim Hortons clothes in the oil can. I'm not sure I get all that. Hortons was they were in Buffalo years ago.
Maybe
I hope
you
so.
have to be drinking, or he has to stop for that. We have to have like an equilibrium.
Oh my god. All right, let's get to another book. Oh, another Death of Superman anniversary special. We have Death of Superman 30th anniversary special #1, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have an introductory price of $30 for the 30th anniversary.
Nice.
And every time I bring it up, I feel old.
And who signed this?
Dan Jurgens.
Who happens to be just again a little bit in the news. James Gunn settling in at DC, talking about DC characters that fans really want to see, and almost immediately the name Booster Gold came up. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, dude, maybe grab Dan Jurgens' number and find out what the character's all about instead of just guessing. Kenneth Bird, our double winner for Monday.
That's right. I think your prize went out already. Your prize is.
I was saying that's prize is.
All right, so $30, number 17 of 300, special price tonight, and we have one available, Death of Superman, signed by Dan Jurgens. Triple B, what's going on, buddy? All right. So I saw Ron said something earlier about the old CEO of Disney, Chapek. I guess he was trying to hide how much the losses were. I mean, you know, the guy's gotten a lot of friction, but I got to say this much, man. He took over the reins right in the middle of the pandemic. You know, that was talk about him.
I don't know how that's gonna.
And if we're being honest too, if he took over right at the pandemic at the start of like a brand new phase, and it really wasn't a phase that had a good direction, it was more of a setup. He didn't get the best cards handed to him. I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't really get a level playing field. He was sort of almost like already in the hole. You know what I mean?
So Ron was asking about the Superman CCA. Yes, we do have one. It is Dark Knight 3, the Master Race #1, signed with Blood Red Superman logo, cover sketch by Ken Hazer. We may have had this on before, but in honor of the 30th anniversary of Death of Superman, this is a suggested retail of $89.99. We have the one available for $19.38.
Oh, like that's real. Wow.
I think we're down the last.
I didn't think you were going to
handful.
say that. That was pretty.
Yeah, we just, you know, we've had it on before. We figured we give the experienced viewers the rock bottom price at this point.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking $20 is what I spend on lunch. I mean,
That's
that's pretty low for this kind of book.
All right, creative. I'm going to pencil you in unless Ron wants it. Actually, it's a pen, so I'm not really penciling. But...
So you're penning in it?
You snitched on yourself.
All right. Let me see.
Man.
So Ron let us know. Creative Keep is going to claim it, but he's giving you first right of refusal, my friend. So let us know. Chime in if you do want it or you don't want it. But yeah. So all right. Thank you, Ron. You got it, creative. I got you in there, buddy. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy Iger's back. I got to admit, I'm not a cult member. I wouldn't even go so far as to call myself a Disney file, but every opportunity my daughter and I have had, I love going to the parks. I really enjoy the experience. What? No,
Not afraid of Mickey's?
No, that's why I'm not a Disney file, dude. I'm way too busy figuring out the timing of the fast pass, the next line we got to get in, how much time, the amount of time to get from ride to ride, to be looking for secret.
Well, it's going to work out for me pretty well because one of my favorite companies is going to buy Disney, supposedly. I'll be happy if Apple buys Disney.
Well, here's something that does creep me out.
Would you, though?
What's that?
Would you be happy if Apple bought Disney?
Sure, why not?
I don't know about that one. I mean, I got an iPhone. I'm literally using an iMac right now. I have an iPhone and my iPad's right next to me, but I feel like that would. I don't like when companies kind of have that monopoly on everything. Like when I lived in Westchester, you had to have either Comcast or Verizon, but it was uptown had Verizon and downtown had Comcast. So you actually didn't have an option. And then out in Oklahoma for internet, you pretty much could only have Cox. And I don't know. It's if there's no other options, then you don't really have to try. So if
I would tend to agree with that statement, but the problem with the FTC is they're gonna say that it really isn't a light business. So look, I always look at it this way. I try to look at.
No, it was not a great internet provider.
I would say I'm looking at it from a more personal standpoint. Okay. And the last time I was at Disney, Iger was still CEO. So I hadn't been there. Now, my daughter had been there with her friends during the whole Chapek period. And again, can't really say that it was him because it was during the pandemic. Yeah. So there were a lot of things they had to work around. And I give Chapek this much. Revenue definitely was going to fall no matter who was CEO because all of a sudden China shut down. Okay, so the Shanghai Disneyland was shut down. But there was a lot of headwinds. But what I didn't like was as things started to settle in, watching the prices go up at the park. So I am a big park guy. One day at some point, I'll deliberately schedule another tournament down in Florida or something so my daughter and I can go. At some point, grandkids, whatever. I enjoy the entire experience, although it's gotten really, really expensive. But no, I'm not like looking for hidden Disneys or anything like that.
Hidden Mickeys.
Yeah, or hidden Mickeys or whatever. I'm not looking for the Easter eggs around the park. I mean, who's got time for that? I'm looking for what restaurant has the shortest line? That's what I'm looking for.
Oftentimes, what restaurant has the shortest line is Raglan Road, which is why you can oftentimes find me sitting at the bar while my wife and her sisters and all the nieces and nephews.
Well, no, in the park.
Okay.
You're talking Disney Springs, and I like that place. That place is super cool.
I love Disney Springs.
Very Irish bar, huge. I was amazed at how big it was.
It's funny. I got there real early, but if you're there around noontime, you start seeing all these other dads blow in, and it's all the same story. They're on their phone, FaceTime. Look at your cute kid on whatever, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I'm all about, I'm all about the rides, getting in the park and walking around. I'm all about that, dude. There are a lot of great places to eat. I mean, the one at Wilderness Lodge. That one that one's
not the carnivore. I'm talking about.
No. No, the campground, not the Wilderness Campground, not the lodge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the something review or.
See, I can't bring myself to eat in the park.
No, this is not in the park.
Oh,
this is at the resort.
Oh, it's at the resort. Okay.
Yeah, one of the resorts. It's all you can, family style. They bring stuff and they have like a little. It's something. I want to say Hippie Doodah Review or something like that. It's got some kind of funky name. I remember.
I pretty much suggest to every friend I have, if you're in Disney, and like general median where you should start, if you're in Disney Springs, is the Boathouse. The Boathouse does everything really well. Now, it might not be exactly what you want, but I want pizza or I want whatever. But if you just want to sit down and have a really good dinner and they have a bourbon flight. They have all kinds of stuff depending on when you go.
But I got to tell you, if you have kids, probably one of the best restaurants beyond the character breakfast in the Magic Kingdom and all that is in Epcot in the Land, the Harvest Grill. Okay. All right. It's just regular fare. It's family style. Chicken, ribs, that type of thing. But the restaurant itself rotates slowly. Really cool. Right, and through the Land ride, and then they have characters that come through. So if you have kids, it's a great place to eat.
I'm a mark at Epcot because I love the volcano in Mexico. So I
like that
I
too.
sit there and I get to the table and I'll even look at the lady and she'll be like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'd like to taste the volcano." And she's like, "Dude, you're a grown man. What's the matter with you?" But $20
They don't
goes
really
a
say
long
that.
way. So they sit down and, oh no, they absolutely give you
The
that.
German, I got to tell you, JD, the German buffet has gotten a lot worse. So the last time my daughter and I were there,
But there's beer. What am I?
yeah, that's true. That's a problem. I never actually
That's
hang
going
in
to
Mexico
Germany
because
for
I'm
tip.
trying to get to Germany to get the big mug, right? But when we first went in there, it was tough to get in there, and then they would schedule you for the shows. Now there's no scheduling for the shows; it's just continuous in and out, and the show just runs the whole time. And the show's gotten not as good. The fare is still the same and whatever, but so I'm not terribly happy with that. I'll tell you, when they have their food and wine festival, that's a great time to go. Portions are really teeny tiny.
I was there right before the pandemic, the Food and Wine Festival. I gotta tell you, that was a blast.
Yeah, we were there. My daughter suggests. I said, "Where do you want to eat?" And the food and wine thing was going on at the time. She goes, "Well, why don't we eat around the world?" And I said, "That's a really great idea." So I decided I was going to drink around the world. So we're walking. We make a right. We make the right. I don't know. We've always made the left going into the World Showcase, but this time we decided to make a right. So we did. So I'm buying. So I'm looking at the little tent signs and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, $6 for a beer? That's really reasonable. Okay.
It's like shot.
So yeah. So we get up and we get in line, we get the little bit of food or whatever, and it wasn't much, but we just had little appetizers all the way around, right? So the food was all right. They hand me like a little Dixie cup of beer, right? So you know how it goes, right? So you go hang to the right and they have the kiosks, but then they have the actual countries, right? So what's first? Mexico's first, right?
I think it's Mexico, right?
No, not Mexico, What's first? Canada's first. Yeah, Mexico, not left is Mexico.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So Canada, right? So I had some Canadian beer, I don't remember what. I couldn't make it past England. We got to England, had another one of those little ones.
I'll take a seat.
And then so we started to walk out of England, and we went back to the pub. I go, Liv, Dad needs to get a grown-up beer. I can't do this.
You're teasing me, man.
So we got the grown-up beer, and then it was a little easier to drink a little Dixie cup size. Danilo, we can show it to you, my friend, but that has already been claimed. But
you want to do another book before we go to break?
Yeah, we will. But Danilo wanted to see it up close. So, JD, when you get a chance, if you could throw the Punisher Atom #1 back up.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I want you to have a chance to get a look at it, Danilo. But yeah, it's already been sold, my friend. All right, so I'm going to throw another book up there, and then we're going to go to our next break. Let's do this one. This one's cool. Let's do Elvira in Horrorland #4, Virgin Premium Metal Photo Cover. This is a great shot of Cassandra. I really love this cover. Suggested retail of $100, and we have the one available for $75.
That's not it.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
There you go, JD. Now you're cooking with oil. So this is very reflective. It actually has a silver. It looks silver. It doesn't look. That looks white when we scanned it.
It's almost like a mirror. It's almost like you know what I mean. It's not quite that reflective, but it's
Yeah.
really wild.
So we have this available for $75. Great shot of Cassandra, otherwise obviously known as Elvira, and that's available. Suggested retail of $100, and we have the one available for $75. And when we come back, we will do the Rex Cat. And Danilo, before we go to break, enter hashtag LoveEXP in lowercase, and you will automatically be entered into the drawing for our CGC 9.6 Aliens #1. All right, so I want to let you know that. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience. Comic culture and sales.
Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
That's real
We're
time.
back.
We're back. That's real time 65 minutes.
So there are two things that I see advice from Mr. John Cole. Obviously, food. Okay, beyond the good local restaurants. Now, I am tapping on John's knowledge of his other area of expertise, going on vacation. Okay.
According to my American Express card, you are right. I do go on vacation a lot. It is not just a joke.
According to your American Express card, you don't never leave home without it. Neil, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling well, my friend.
Looks like he's been in a fight. The helmet's dented. He's got a black eye. Dude, I'm begging you, put me down.
So you know what? I'll bring it up to the viewers too. I'm sure everybody's going to have great suggestions. All right, so it is time for the RexCast.
Wait, I got one thing I wanted to bring up before. You guys were talking about Disney. You mentioned a thing about people walking around looking for the Easter eggs and stuff. What?
Yes.
What is that?
I'm
not a Disney person.
There's Mickeys, and they're basically just hidden little Mickey Mouse figures that they work into the architecture. Literally, if you Google hidden Mickeys, it'll probably be quicker than me explaining it. But it's just these tiny little things, and sometimes it's worked into wood grain. Sometimes it'll be on a clock. Like you'll walk into, I think it's the Carousel, Crystal Palace. You walk in, the first, and this is like a little bit of a spoiler alert. The first thing you do, you walk in, you turn to the left, there's a clock there. Center of the clock is a hidden Mickey. People go running around looking for these things. It's that, and it's the trading of the pins.
Yes.
Those are like the hardcore Disney file activities. Like people are planning their vacation around, I have to get this pin from this person at this place. A few years back, before the pandemic,
it was something that's handed down from generation to generation. So my dad was never a big person. My dad was the guy that wanted to leave. Took me to Disneyland because I begged him when I was 5. He was living in California. I was visiting him. And he wanted to leave at 6 p.m. even though the park closed at 11. The first time I stood my ground with my father because I was incredulous. What? Why would we leave at 6? They're open until 11. Why would we leave at 6? This makes no sense. He's trying to explain to me why. My dad is so not an amusement park guy. When my daughter was little, they were visiting, and we met in California, and we went to a Six Flags up in North California. And my dad, of course, wanted to spend time with his granddaughter. So he went with us. And we left him at Thomas the Tank Engine Town. next to Mr. Topham Hat, right?
Okay.
All right. They had a big kind of just statue or whatever on a park bench, and he was sitting there. And there was my father. I have a picture of it. My father's sitting next to Mr. Topham Hat, and he'd fallen asleep. So the plan of action on that day was my daughter and I would run around the park, and he just sat there reading a book and sleeping. Okay. And he paid the full fee. Okay. I'll never forget that. He paid for all three of us. But you know what? I also knew this was the best plan for everybody involved. Okay. He wanted to come. He wanted to spend the car ride. It was like 2 hours from where we were staying. Yeah, one way. He wanted to spend time with his granddaughter, wanted to go with us, but he hates rides. So that was a perfect solution. And we came and picked him up at the end of the day. Like we checked in on him whenever we crossed Thomas the Tank Engine land, whatever. But my mom was a real Disney fan. We were poor, so there weren't too many trips we could take. But
it's always been expensive. This is what I say to people when they complain about Disney being expensive. I'm not telling you don't have a right to complain. I'm just telling you I've been going to Disney World somewhat regularly for the majority of my life, which everybody knows I'm like the oldest living human on a comic book show. It's always
that is not a creative.
It's always been real expensive.
Yeah.
It's always been real expensive. I remember being with my dad. My mom was sick. So I just went with my dad by myself. And, I remember like we got hamburgers and fries and soda. And I'm maybe 9. So this is the 70s. And my dad is like,
really, John,
I remember.
Was it the 70s or maybe it was the 60s?
No, it was the 70s. I remember hearing my dad. He takes a cigar out of his mouth and he looks at this kid and he's like, $14 for 2 burgers, 2 Cokes, and 2 orders of fries.
Yep.
And the guy's like, and my dad was huge. I mean, he makes me look small in comparison. And the kid's like, well, yeah, sir. And so my dad just gives the guy the money and sits down. And I remember he's shaking his head like he can't believe it. Of course, in my dad's hand, the burger looks like a slider. Meanwhile, I'm super happy, like, oh, I got a Mickey burger. And he's looking at me like, you have no idea what's going on.
It's I gotta say that
you fast forward like 40-something years, I'm with my godson. And he is telling me about how he wants to go and build a lightsaber. I'm like, okay, man, whatever you want. That's fine.
Expensive.
Well, this is why his father said, I would love for you to have some bonding time. You're such a big Star Wars fan. I figured out, my friend swerved me, but it was okay. I like the kid. We go there and I find out what it is. And I hear my dad's voice complaining about $13, $14 hamburgers. And they're telling me it's like, $200 and something plus this, plus that. Plus there's a jacket that he had to have in the store. It's like a Wilson leather jacket that he had to have. It's like one of the flight jackets from one of the rebel bases or something. So my wife is usually the one who's like, oh, let's give them whatever they like so they'll love us when we're old. And I'm like, okay. So my wife is like, that is too expensive. He is 10. So I'm like, put the jacket on. Let me see. Look at it. He puts the jacket on. He zips it. He does the thing like he's a rebel pilot. I looked at the lady. I'm like, take the jacket.
Yeah, well, dude, you had
my
already.
wife is like, he lives in Florida. What is he doing?
You already decided you're going to buy the kid the jacket before you asked him to put it on, because there's no way that makes you the coolest uncle on the face of the earth.
I did decide
put it on.
that.
Let me see. Nah, it looks like crap on you. Take it off.
decide
It's not worth $200. You look awful. You don't look anything like Han Solo.
Right.
And it was, there's no way you're going to make the kid try it on, zip it all up, and then say, yeah, I'm not getting it.
No, sorry. I'm $8 short. No, but the truth is, in my mind, if I go to Disney World, I know what's happening. Like, if I go to a bad neighborhood by myself with a transparent bag of money, I'm going to get beat up. I'm going to be left on the ground, and someone's going to take my money and leave. This is the same principle. If I go to Disney World with kids, and they're like, we'd love for you to just use your American Express card to pay for everything. Yoke. So I know when that bill comes in, it's backbreaking. But I could have not gone.
Right.
I could have just said, I'm not going. I could have sent my wife, and she did chase the kids like she always does.
I got to tell you, it's a different experience for everyone. I think that's what they've done really, really well. Everybody gets something out of it. John obviously goes a lot. He has nieces and nephews, but I don't think that's a primary reason. Okay.
Well, I had nieces and nephews. The way people in my orbit had kids, I had nieces and nephews. They got older. I had godsons and goddaughters. They got older. Then I had nieces and nephews again from the other side of my wife's family. So it's literally been about 13, 14, 15 years of me taking little kids to Universal Studios, Disney World, Key West. Spoiler alert, don't take kids to Key West. There's nothing for kids to do in Key West.
Doubt,
Like,
no doubt. So,
nothing.
JD, yeah, those bracelets, there's a way around that problem. When I had those bracelets, I did not attach a credit card to it. Okay? You can do that. So all it would do was it would open my hotel room door. Okay?
No.
I could get my fast pass, okay, but I couldn't charge anything to it.
Hey, I got something for everybody.
Oh, everybody? I hope this means me.
Actually, this has something to do with you.
Uh-oh.
If we get 35 people, don't ask me why I picked 35. I just think 50 might be stretching. If we get 35 people next week in the chat at one time, in the room, in all of the platforms, I will give everyone a sketch card by one of John, featuring one of John's favorite characters.
Ooh.
And it's not the Green Hornet.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Wait, what
Batman, nice.
I'm pretty
Did you
sure
say
there
Monday?
are no Batman sketch
Wednesday. So Wednesday, what is that? December 4th?
I think it's the 4th.
No,
7th.
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 Oh,
the 4th is this week, Sunday.
Okay.
So Wednesday, December 7th, 35 people.
Kenneth Bird said hello. Kenneth Bird won both prizes on the days. First time we've ever had
that has never happened.
That's never happened
Congratulations.
before. That was really cool.
So I will tell you what it is. Hand-drawn Lone Ranger sketch cards.
Ooh.
So 35 people in the room, everyone gets a free Lone Ranger sketch card.
Tonight, Dynamite Security finds me with a nail file at Nick's door trying to get into the office. Where are they? Sir, please step away from
Credit
the
card
door.
works better than nail file never works. That's just crap you see on TV.
That's very cool.
Yeah, Kenneth Bird, and I'm pretty sure they went out. They're already on the way, packed and on the way to you, buddy. All right. So, but yeah. So that's how I got around. I got to give my daughter credit though. She knew. She always knew that we weren't going to buy a lot of stuff at the gift stores. So she never asked or anything. We just, I said, look, the money's being spent on the tickets, the experience, the food. I said, you don't need crap. If you need the crap, we'll go to those gift shops.
Stores on the way in.
Yeah, no, the gift shops that are like in Orlando and stuff that have like, but Dad, this says 1982. It's a collector's item. That's why.
To me, it's justice and it's karma. When I was a kid and my dad would take me to Disney World, I'd hit that old man hard. I'd hit him real hard in the wallet. And because he worked a lot, he was one of those dads from that generation that was like, I'm at work all the time, let me buy you something.
Right.
And I would buy into that. Like, yes, I love you if you buy me stuff. Typical terrible kid from that generation. Now I look at it and I'm on the other side of that, right? Now I'm the one getting hit. It's like cats in the cradle with money, right? Like I remember telling my dad, I want this and I want that. My dad would even be like, I think I can get this for you at home. No, it has to be here and now. All right, man, whatever you say. And now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting my goddaughter looking at me like, when did you stop loving me? Because I won't get her something from like Frozen or whatever. So we turn around and we go back and, we get it. And she knows I love her again.
So Ronald says, my wife says Nick's like a loan shark and she knows I can't do it. Oh, my God.
Payment plans, Ron. Don't worry about it.
So, Alec, you say you've never been, right?
I went there once. I think I was in 8th grade.
8th grade,
So,
okay.
It was a little while ago.
Well, not that long ago.
It was a little while ago.
Dude, I have shoes from high school, so it's not that long.
I do too, though.
Open your wallet, buy new shoes.
Dude, no. There was shoes I wore at graduation, and my mom insisted we buy Florsheim shoes. She was all into good shoes.
Oh, yeah, and they had to be the good shoes.
I just recently, I'll never wear them. They're kind of out of style, but they're still in perfectly good shape. 100% patent leather. I took it to a shoe cobbler I found at Atco, the Atco.
The market?
Yeah,
okay.
I finally found a guy. Just to get the resoled and the interior
that guy
soles.
used to be in the Cherry Hill Mall, I found out.
Yeah, and the interior sole, it had to be replaced. So he did all that work just because my mom bought it for me.
Going
just
to a
have them around.
cobbler makes me feel like I'm going to Hogwarts. Because like these are like trades. Nobody says that anymore, right? Like something happens to your shoes.
What do you call them?
I bust out my phone.
I can't call him shoe repair guy.
No, but I'm saying, I mean, the cobbler is the correct term, but I'm like, nobody does it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I need a new pair of shoes. I'm literally, my phone is
That's
in my
why
hand.
it was so hard to find.
Siri
I
gets my
wanted
shoes,
to,
I'm done.
you know, my mom, you know, passed away many years ago. She had bought me those shoes, insisting that these were, you know, but I picked the style. So she was right. I was wrong. She wanted me to
get
pick
Oxfords? Do you get a little tassel?
No, I get these pointy ones, dude.
Oh, wizard shoes.
They look like I should be wearing a zoot suit and a hat.
Oh, no.
You know, but that was a compromise. But they're still in excellent shape. The leather, whatever. And when he shined them and stuff,
They
looks
look great.
Yeah, he replaced the heel and then the interior sole and stuff. So it was clean. I'm never gonna wear them again.
Yeah, make my institute dress code here at Dynamite.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not for me, but you.
So Ed Weird says, I heard cobbler and someone better have an apple pastry coming soon. All right, it's time for the Rex Cap. I'm sorry, we're drifting a little bit. We're still in a turkey coma
on this show.
Hey, good
Or
conversation.
you need to get out more, fly to Vegas, get ripped. You know what? That would be great if we had to do a show to raise bail money for AR.
That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't
He's
it?
just in jail somewhere, black eye.
No.
You should see the other guy. All right, man.
All right, so here we go. Rex Cap time. You know, I'm gonna throw this out there too. Dynamite 10-pack reader set. We always have it. 10 random Dynamite titles. Suggested retail $40 or higher, and as always, as a thank you to our viewers, we have it for $5.50 a copy. If you're a new viewer, you haven't picked up Dynamite titles in the past, it's a great way to get started. All right. So then we did Alien #1, signing gold by Philip Kennedy Johnson. This just hit our doors. It's just a retail of $89.99. It's number 21 of only 25 signed in gold.
We
have
good ones tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have this one available for 5-star $50. Then we have Batman and Robin, signed by artist Frank Quietly. It's just a retail of, we have one available, number 4 of 100, for $39.99. Very tough signature to get, as Frank resides in Scotland. Then
I would call him Quitley too.
Yeah, thank you.
I would say the same thing.
I appreciate your support. Then we had Death of Superman 30th anniversary special, #1, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $49.99. It is number 17 of only 300 signed. And we have a special introductory price of $30 for the 30th anniversary. Then we did our other best offer book, Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year, #1, signed in silver by Mark Russell.
It is my favorite episode of the show on HBO.
It is number 8 of only 60 signed in silver. We have one available. It is a best offer book starting at $15. Then we did Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash #1, subscription variant, signed and remarked by cover artist Ken Hazer. It is a best offer book, and Preston is in the lead at $10. All right, and then we did Batman #125, signed with Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. It is a best offer book, and currently our buddy Ron is in the lead at $40. And that does it for the recap. All right. So let's do another book. Let's throw another one out here. All right, we have Dark Knight's Metal #1. Jim Lee variant, signed in gold by Greg Capullo. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have one, number 7 of only 27 signed in gold. And we have the one available for $39.
That was actually a really good read. The whole Dark Knight's Metal. I actually really enjoyed it.
Well, I picked it up basically because of the cover. I thought it was a very cool Wonder Woman cover. So what the heck?
This is the run that I'm pretty sure it's the run that introduced Batman Who Laughs. Eventually, I'm pretty positive it's the Dark Knight's Metal series.
Yeah, I think that is. They were just talking about this in one of the comic groups that I'm in, like the Batman Who Laughs. When are we going to get like the live action animated movie from? Because apparently the animated movies are supposedly working on now was Kingdom Come, but now Kingdom Come has been pulled because James Gunn today tweeted a picture of here at work or something, like working on the next movie, and it was just an Alex Ross Kingdom Come thing. So it seems like maybe he's kind of hinting that, the next movie might be somewhat Kingdom Come. I realized it was a long time ago. For me, that most people love Crisis. For me, the height of DC Comics is Kingdom Come.
Right.
I think that done right, that movie could help shift balance of powers like this now, right? I mean, here's Marvel. Like everything they do practically turns to gold, even though people are like, "Oh, it's terrible. It's not. It's good." Blah, blah. $400-500 million seems to roll in, just shows up.
Right.
If you like the movie, don't like the movie, that's fine. Black Panther's out like a week and a half. It's $500 million. Okay, and then you got DC over here where they're having trouble. I mean, the movies are making some money, but they're not. They're making good money. They're not making real money. Even Black Adam. I enjoyed Black Adam. I saw that a bunch of times, right? If you're a wrestling fan, it's The Rock cosplaying Black Adam. It's great. It's super entertaining. That didn't make anywhere near the money they had hoped it would. And they had some really cool. Dwayne Johnson does a fine job. He does what he does. He's Dwayne Johnson, right? He's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of our age. I go and I play the same character, and that's it. But you had a few really cool characters in there. Aldous Hodge is Hawkman. Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate. I thought those guys kind of really added a lot to the movie. And people just sort of, okay. You know what I mean? Like they didn't care.
I don't know.
Or they didn't care enough. Let's put it this way. I saw Black Adam, I guess, 5 times in 4 days. And people were just like, I just don't think that movie's that good. And I'm like, come on, man, it's Rock with superpowers. What are you doing for 2 hours that you're not watching this?
I haven't seen it yet.
At this point, you might as well just wait for.
It's coming. It's like next week, right?
That was the game plan all along, was to wait for HBO.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't make any sense to go see it.
Well, the problem now is, and I think they've talked about this a lot, so I don't feel like this is a spoiler. If you haven't seen Black Adam by now, okay, that's cool, but we're talking about the movie. I guess Dwayne Johnson sort of had the idea that he was going to step in and be the man for DCU,
right?
And obviously that didn't happen. He put in his whole thing. He's talking openly about how he had an arm twist to get the Henry Cavill Superman.
Right. I read about that.
Like he was like, this is essential. He was actually scolding DC, like, how do you not have this guy be Superman? What's the matter with you? What are you doing that you're dragging your feet? I don't think DC appreciated that too much. He was under the impression that he was going to move forward as, the Atlas holding up that world. James Gunn came in. I always forget the name of the other guy. I feel really bad because I'm sure he's still talented. But James Gunn came in with his tag team partner. Pretty much the assumption is there's no more Black Adam movies. There's no more Henry Cavill Superman. There's no more, that whole sort of idea that they had, the Justice Society idea, all gone.
I think one of the main issues is JD had it right. With Marvel's gone to the point where they're woven into the culture. They've established themselves. They keep constantly building for something bigger. Everything is leading to something much bigger. Even at the end of Endgame, well, what's next? You introduced a bunch of new characters. They're still trying to get past the blip and everything that happened, but they're moving forward the best they can, and they're aimed towards the next big project. The issue is with DC, and my non-comic book friends, they say the exact same thing. They say, well, what's the point of watching this? I don't know who this character is. What's the big villain? What's the big event? I don't know. I don't know what they're building towards. I don't think they are. They don't have a real set plan. So people aren't interested in that because it's just a movie, but it's a comic book movie. So if you're already not a comic book fan, then there's really nothing to watch it for. But if you're like, well, they did this movie that led to this, that leads to this, and now these guys are all coming together for this big, massive event, it's like, okay, well, everyone seems to like it. I'm interested in it. Let me watch it too. But if it's just, I got to see a Black Adam movie, I got to see another 5th time revamped Batman movie. They don't even know what they're doing with Superman. What's happening with the Flash? There's no reason for the casual fan to enjoy that over a Marvel movie.
Well, they definitely made a mess for themselves. Zaslav, I'm very critical of how he's approached it since the murder and then bringing Gunn in. And I think that's a good thing. But they've been disorganized. But I think John has a point. I haven't seen Black Adam, also waiting for HBO. But from everything John's told me, it's a solid movie. I think the problem is that now, again, going back to JD's point, is that you have the MCU interwoven into modern day pop culture.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I absolutely think that's a great way to put it.
And the problem is now let's say if Black Adam came out about the same time as, let's say, Blade did, where everybody had zero expectations, and if it was a solid movie, you're like, wow, that was a solid movie. But now everything is compared against the backdrop of MCU, and that becomes very difficult to do.
Well, to elaborate on the point, people wait for Marvel movies the same way they wait for James Bond movies. Like, I'm just waiting for Star Wars movies. I'm just waiting for the next one. It's not like, all right, I've seen it. I get it. James Bond, he's a spy, good-looking dude, shoots people, drives a car, gadgets, girls. Nobody ever does that. People are waiting. Guys older than me are like, I'm waiting for the next James Bond movie. And I'm like, here, read some comics.
Guys older than you talk like that.
I go to talk like that. What are you kidding?
Rex, I think what you said is probably the perfect way, like, to nail it on the head. If they compared this to Blade back in the day, like if they released at the same time, they'd probably enjoy it. Because if you recall from back in the day with the Blade movies, the Spider-Man and whatever, the Fantastic Fours, people enjoyed them, but they weren't popular. It's not like a non-comic book fan was going out of their way to see Fantastic Four and Blade. They don't know what that is. And if they do see it, that's because they might not even know it's a comic book character.
Nobody knew who Chris Evans was back then. I think
a lot of people watched Blade because it was just a good movie.
It was a great movie. And Wesley Snipes did a phenomenal job.
And most people didn't even know it was a comic book character. They didn't care. I guess a better comparison would be if you compare Black Adam to, say, Iron Man, the first one. Okay, it was just a solid movie, but our expectations were so much lower. So how would everybody feel about Iron Man if it came out today? That's the interesting thing. But now it's in the list of MCU nostalgia and stuff, Phase 1 and all that good stuff. But if it came out today, how would people react, I guess?
I still think at the same time, though, is those end credit scenes that get thrown in, even at the end of Iron Man, the end of Captain America. It's like, oh my God, are they building towards the Avengers? Is this what they're doing? Right. And then all of a sudden, bang, an Avengers movie. DC, I'm like I said, I don't watch a lot of DC. I just don't particularly care about a lot of those characters. I am going to watch Black Adam, but they might have end credit scenes in there too, and they might be doing the same exact thing now. But from past experiences, DC just keeps screwing up. They screw up the continuity, and they're not getting this like main story together. And they people just
stopping and going.
They're losing fans by doing that. They just don't care anymore.
Doing the real comics, though, right? That's what how many times has the DC universe been rebooted just in the 21st century? Remember when Crisis was originally rebooted back in the 80s before Alex was born? That was like the thing, right? That was like
you just had to slip that in there.
That was cataclysmic. Like, oh my God, they're making changes to the DC universe, and then all of a sudden it became less cataclysmic and less. By the time we got to late 90s, early 2000s, it was constant. This happened, that happened, it's this crisis, it's that infinite this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now there's a dark verse and a multiverse, and people are turning into metal and bugs and vampires and zombies, and you're like, dude, how about you just focus on a good Batman story, a good Superman story, a good Wonder Woman story, a good Flash story, good Green Lantern story, and do that every month.
All right, hold that thought. This is a good topic. So we got to take our last and final break, but when we get back, we're going to revisit this topic. I like this topic. New comic book day, books, and get through the rest of these books. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Are you a comic creator? Are you a publisher? Do you make a comic book product? Do you own a retail store? Do you do something I haven't thought of? Who are you and what do you do? Let us know by advertising on The Experience and invite our viewers to patronize your product. Message the EXP on social media or email us _EXP@yahoo.com for more details.
Hi, this is Austin McKinley, artist for Tales of Mystery with Dirk Manning. You're watching The Experience.
All right, and we're back. All right, so let me get through a couple of
To answer Kyle's question, yes, I absolutely do something that nobody else has thought of before. I'm on vacation like 1 out of every 3 weeks.
More like
Actually, it's 2 out of every 3 weeks.
Thank you. I've done the math. If you want me to show you,
Kyle, just stop going. The show will get done without you. Enjoy your vacation.
All right, so let me get to a couple of books. All right, so I think this is the last CCA of the night. We have X-Men Battle of the Atom #1 signed with a Black Cat cover.
That's cool.
Sketched by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have the one available for $77.
This is nice. This character is sort of getting a little bit of a renaissance or whatever. There's Iron Cat. I've seen her in a bunch of anybody who is on Marvel Unlimited. She appears a lot in like the Infinity Comics and stuff like that. They really seem to be trying to get this character, essentially she's Catwoman, right? And that's always been the rap against her. She's Catwoman. Marvel's got Tigra. Marvel has Hellcat. Even in the Hellcat comic a few years back, they made fun of Black Cat just being...
Oh, JD has 75 on the crawl, so it's 75. I'll always go with the lower price.
Sure. So it's nice to see them kind of, get this character out there a little more. I just read the first issue of Iron Cat. It is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of armored characters, but it's a cool read.
All right, and then we have Evil Ernie #1, limited edition TMNT homage, signed and remarked with an Evil Ernie head sketch by Ken Hazer. All right, and there's the head sketch. Did we not do that one? Let's see.
So no health skits? We're going to talk to you again about this. I was like, I need to talk this through because this should have been a particularly green color.
Let me see. Maybe we sent the wrong picture. I got to come around. Hold on. Let's see. Did we send the wrong picture? No, we didn't. Hey, throw that up again, JD. I'm sorry. No, we did send the wrong picture. All right. Never mind.
You want me to draw something real quick? Nobody will know the difference.
John, stop it.
All right, so here you go, right there. There is the head. There is the wrong way, opposite direction. So here you go. I'm as bad as John is. All right, here we go. There it is. There's a head sketch. All right, so this one is $25. All right. So, all right. So we should. That's all right. No worries, JD. I think we sent you the wrong photo. Maybe. All right, so that one is available for $25. Head sketch of Evil Ernie, signed by cover artist and our friend Ken Hazer. All right, so guys, what do we think about New Comic Book Day?
Pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Small week.
Yeah, I don't think it was a. I'll you go first because I'm just going to talk about Dynamite stuff anyway.
I mean, Image had a weird one. I'll tell you that. It's Plush issue number 1. This is a weird book. This is a really weird book.
So is that good or bad? Weird.
I liked it, but I mean, the front cover, if you're looking at it, it looks a little odd, but it's like some guy who's going through some bad stuff in his life, and his friend decides to take him to a furry party, and a lot of stuff happens from there. And there, it's like there's a couple furries there. I guess are cannibals. So it's it's an odd story, but it's actually it was actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. They tied. There's like a couple different plots going on in it, but they tied it together pretty well at the end. One of those. Strange Academy continues to be incredible.
Probably my favorite Marvel book.
There's no doubt. It is my favorite ongoing from Marvel. It is. I just don't get it. They struck gold with Strange Academy, and it's so fresh. It's new. It's unique. And the people who read it love it. There's not someone out there that's read Strange Academy and was like, it's not a good series. If you're reading it, you really enjoy it. And I can't understand why they just don't try something new with something else. I like this one. Planet Hulk World Breaker 1. We had a Planet Hulk series. Why do you have to go 1,000 years into the future on Sakaar and call it Planet Hulk again? They did it 2 weeks ago with 2 weeks ago with Secret Invasion, and it's like, we had Secret Invasion. Come up with something new.
Well, that's probably because we're getting Secret Invasion again, right?
Yes. And if you saw She-Hulk, they're obviously hinting at some sort of World War Hulk, Planet Hulk as well. But it's like,
Jen King tried to help you out on the book by saying it helps if you read vinyl and plastic.
I did read vinyl. I noticed actually the main reason I picked it up was the Hilliard artwork.
Nice.
It's very cartoonish, but very, very well done. But I noticed that right away. I didn't finish reading vinyl though. My shop didn't get all the books, but from what I read, I really enjoyed it. But that's just my main gripe with Marvel right now. It's like you saw the success with Strange Academy. You see how many people love it. They made an entirely new volume dedicated to it. But instead, you're pumping out stuff that's just redone. It's the same name. They didn't even bother to change Secret Invasion. At least with Planet Hulk, they decided to add World Breaker to it. I don't know. It's getting old. I wish Marvel would just do something new. And a lot of the superhero stuff, I mean, I'm not a big DC fan, but the indies continue to they've got some great stories.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's in terms of creative energy, you can't, even something what I consider like a semi-indie, like Valiant, when Valiant was doing their sort of the creative energy there, and then you peel over to, I think Valiant had hit like another high watermark. They won all these awards, and I think both Marvel and DC were doing more like crossovers, and somebody's a zombie, and then there was something else. I was like, look at what they're doing. Look at all this sort of, look at these other titles and look where all this energy is. And then it's the same thing again. Like, okay, we're all going to get together. There's something happening. We're all in danger. I'm like, if fans in their 20s and 30s are tired of seeing it, you've got no shot to get my money.
That's how my dad is. My dad, his pull list is down to Amazing Spider-Man and Thor. One of my dad's favorite characters is Hulk. And he's not even getting the newest series because of how bad it is. But he's also not reading Thor and Amazing Spider-Man, but he has pretty much every issue, like literally every issue ever created of those characters, and he's not going to not get it. But he's not reading it because he knows it's bad. He's even like, yeah, the artwork is terrible. I'm not interested in anything they're doing, but I'm not going to miss out on these issues to,
Right. Complete the run.
Yeah, so he's like, that's my dad who's been reading comics for his entire life. And now, like with me, even over the last few years, I read these indie books, and I just, because the book is right there, I've went back and forth on the series Stillwater a lot. It's like written by Chip Zdarsky. I like him as a writer, but I kept thinking like, it's an all right story. They just did the origin of why Stillwater has this curse on it. It was so incredible. And it's like you have these stories and you see the buildup and you finally get the big payoff. What is Marvel? I can't speak on DC's behalf. I can't speak on DC Comics, but what is Marvel truly doing over there that makes me say like, wow, they deserve my money. They deserve me to add another title to my pull list. They're not doing anything. They're redoing everything, and nothing's creative besides Strange Academy. Like, that is fantastic. I respect them doing
Strange Academy is really, really good. I cannot stress that enough.
No, it's
good.
Well,
I was going to say it's all new characters. Everything's new. Every single thing is new.
They had me at Doyle Dormammu. That's all they needed to say. When that was the characters on, I'm like, okay, you got me. That was just. But if you look at where Marvel has some creative energy, and I realize not everybody has this, and that's probably not a good place to find creative energy. If you have Marvel Unlimited, they do Infinity Comics, which are sort of like just digital comics for them. DC also does digital comics. That's where a lot of that creative stuff was. Like DC was doing like Bombshells and some of these other things 3, 4, 5 years ago. And you look at all the digital stuff they're doing, and that's where you see some new stuff and some creative energy. And then as soon as I go over what you put in the local comic book store, it's like zombie, dark, multiverse, cyborg, apocalypse again. And you're just like, okay. Like how do you, like I said, and I understand I'm on this end of the spectrum. Most comic book fans are not, like old guys like me that have seen like a zillion things. But I'm like, I hear fans in their 30s that are like, oh man, another zombie apocalypse, I'm good. And they just pass it by. I mean, I'm over at Ontario Street, and I usually try to get there when they open. And I'd say about 7, 8 guys show up. I kind of see them. They're always the same, probably like late 20s, gamer-type guys or whatever. And they're looking through the books. And to see the disappointment on their faces when they're just kind of like glossing over, like, Batman is fighting a secret society that really controls Gotham for the 19th time. And they're just like, Court of Owls again. And they just don't buy it.
I mean, look at
okay, whatever.
Look at the most recent Amazing Spider-Man. You're telling me that you've got to bring Norman Osborn back into the picture as a good guy, and now he's the Gold Goblin.
Oh, the Golden Goblin. Oh, that's terrible.
And Peter Parker is cool with him? I mean, come on with that,
He saturated the Spider-Verse literally with the Spider-Verse. A zillion different versions of this character. In the beginning, it was kind of entertaining. And now it's just, it's not. And I'm not saying this because we're here at Dynamite, but not everything is as successful as creators hope with any comic company. I don't care what it is.
And you've got the new Dark Web event coming up too. And I told myself, I was like, I'm probably gonna skip out on it. I'm probably not going to read it. And I started looking at the books I do have on my pull list: Thor, Venom, Spider-Man. There's another one too, and it's all tied into Dark Web. And it's like, almost my entire Marvel pull list that I still have going is tied into this event. Why would I not know what's going on? Because then I truly will be wasting my money.
All right, so
it's just a shame.
All right, I realize we're getting short on time. So, all right, so let's get through the rest of the books. We have a mystery mega kit tonight. All right, so the mega kit will, don't throw up the picture, JD, not yet. It will include a graded 9.8, a signed book, and a variant cover. All right, this particular mystery kit has a total manufacturer's suggested retail price of $209.98. And as always, we're going to have it for $50. But it is a mystery mega kit. I will tell you that it is Spider-Man related, and we'll leave it at that. All right, so that is a $210 value for $50, but it is a mystery. All right, so then let's get to some Dynamite books. Then we have Catman and Kitten, a one-shot Virgin cover incentive, 1 in 20 ratio by Jonathan Case. Suggested retail of $50. And this one we have at a bargain basement price of $19.40 for the year that the Golden Age Catman came out.
This book is very cool. This is one of the
All
books that came out today.
Danilo.
This is a name drop.
Oh, wait, Danilo, you're claiming the kit. Sorry, buddy. All right, I got you for the kit. All right, so Danilo is claiming the kit. So let's show it. JD, you have the pick, buddy?
Ooh.
All right, there you go. It is. I actually have to read it now. I realized I didn't even write it down. So,
wow.
Danilo, you got the Amazing Spider-Man facsimile edition number 238. The John Romita Sr. and Jr. cover, 9.8. Then you have Amazing Spider-Man number 1.
That's first appearance of Cindy Moon.
First appearance of Cindy Moon. And it is signed in silver by Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado. And then you have the Amazing Spider-Man number 49, Legacy number 850, variant cover edition. And this is the Peach Momoko variant. And then Preston's claiming Catman. Gotcha, Preston. You got it, buddy. All right, Danilo. So pretty good call for $50, my friend. And we'll get it right out to you, buddy. All right, and we will invoice you, Danilo. Just remember to fill out the claim form, which JD will throw up the link to. All right, and let's get to the rest of the Dynamite books. All right, so then we also have Vampirella Year 1, number 4, Virgin incentive cover, 1:7 ratio by Ergen Gundas. It's just retail of $50, and we have this one available for $15.
I like this one's dark. You don't see a lot of dark Vampirella covers.
Yeah, well, I like it because of just, in the sky, the wings, no collars.
And again, something you don't see a lot of.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so bargain basement price of $15 for a $50
really nice.
value. And then
We had this come out this week. We had Catman come out this week. Catman's very cool. I talked to Jeff Parker, and I have to admit this. When I tweeted about this today, I tagged the wrong Joseph Cooper. So I apologize to him. The Joseph Cooper I tagged was probably wondering why he was getting all these comments like, cool artwork or whatever. I was like, what are you talking about?
Guy's probably an accountant.
Yeah, he did. It's a very cool book. Catman's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, is it kind of silly? I'm like, no. Parker kind of took it in a more serious direction, which I think is very cool.
All right, so then we had then we have the Army of Darkness versus Reanimator Necronomicon Rising, number 5, limited edition virgin cover by Arthur Sudan. Suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $40.
This is a book you might want to double dip on because Ken Hazer has a very cool, I showed it on Monday, a very cool George Perez homage cover for this, which is just
all right, and then
I love this.
Finally, we have Unbreakable Red Sonja number 2, Virgin black and white incentive cover, 1:30 ratio by David Finch. It's just a retail of $50, and we have that one available for $30.
Longtime viewers of Nick's show know David Finch is one of Nick's favorite artists.
There you go. All right, so now I think it's time for the dreaded Rex Cat. All right, so we ready? Here we go. So as always, we had the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. We'll have a suggested retail of $40 or higher, so $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, as thank you to our viewers, we have it for $5, so 50 cents a copy. Then we have Alien number 1, signed in gold by Philip Kennedy Johnson. It's just a retail of $89.99, and this just came in. It is number 21 of only 25 signed in gold, and we have one available for $50. Then we had Batman and Robin number 1, signed by artist Frank Quitely. It's just we have one available, number 4 of 100 for $39.99. Then we had Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special number 1, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail $49.99. We have number 1 available, number 17 of only 300 signed, for a special introductory price of $30 for the 30th anniversary. Then we had Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year number 1, signed in silver by Mark Russell. Suggested retail of $69.99. Best offers ending in 5 minutes. This has no offers on it. Best offer starting at $15. So if somebody slides in, they can pick this book up for $15. Then we had Dark Metals #1, Jim Lee variant, signed in gold by Greg Capullo. Suggested retail of $89.99. It's #7 of 27, signed in gold. And we have one available for $39. Then we had Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash #1, subscription variant, signed and remarked by cover artist Ken Hazer. It is a best offer book, and Preston is in the lead at $10. All right, then X-Men Battle of the Atom #1, signed with Black Cat cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We had it at $75, but we're going to do a veggie sandwich discount, and you know what? Let's take that down to $60. All right, so that is now $60 for anybody that wants it.
Nice.
And only a few minutes left of the show. All right, and then we did Batman #125, signed with Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99. This is a new one as well. It is a best offer book. Ron is currently in the lead at $40. Then we did Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids #3, Virgin Premium metal cover by Joe Simcoe.
That eye looks so good on this guy. I mean, it's hard to adequately communicate how good that
All right,
eye looks.
OBR, thanks for joining us, buddy. Let me see. Harley Quinn, gotcha, buddy. All right, OBR. I think that one we had at 15, but I'll go ahead and let you start it at 10. You've been a new faithful viewer, so we'll go ahead and start that one off at 10. So anybody wants to jump in, only a couple minutes left. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? Then we had Elvira in Horrorland #4, Virgin Premium metal photo cover. Suggested retail of $100, and we have one for $75. All right, Creative Keep, I got you, buddy. Let's see. So Creative's at 41. Okay, gotcha, buddy. All right. And then we had Vampirella Year 1 #4, Virgin Incentive cover, 1:7 ratio by Ergen Gundas. It's just a retail of $50, and we have the one available rock bottom price of $15. Then we did the Army of Darkness versus Reanimator. All right, thanks, Danilo. Versus Reanimator Necronomicon, Rising #5, limited edition Virgin cover by Arthur Sudan. Suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40. And then we have.
I love Ash's face on this cover, man.
Yeah. And then we have Unbreakable Red Sonja #2, Virgin Black and White incentive cover, 1:30 ratio by David Finch. And then, of course, the prize, the free giveaway tonight, Alien #1 Gleason variant cover, CGC graded 9.6. Just make sure you enter hashtag LoveEXP, all lowercase, in the chat, and we will draw it as soon as best offers end.
1:30. I'm just 1-1. I'm just going to grab it on the way out.
All right. So, and while we're waiting for that, let's throw this back up. X-Men Battle of the Atom #1, signed with Black Cat cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza, and it has just a retail of $149.99. We're going to do it at $75. Now I did the vegan discount of $60. It is now $60, down from $77.
Nice.
Retail is $149.99. Any additional discounts? Let me see. I'll tell you what, Creative. $50 we have it at. I'll do it at $40 for you, Creative. How's that sound? If you want it, let me know.
Just giving Nick stuff away. I'm going to be here next week by myself.
Maybe. It's my passive aggressive way to get a week.
Then you're going to take it home anyway.
All right, Creative, let me know if you want it, buddy.
40 is really good.
All right, and if you want it at 40, it's yours.
You claimed it?
All right, Creative, you got it, buddy. It's yours. All right. So, and that does it, I think, right? And nobody wants the Black Cat at 60. Come on, man, really?
That does surprise me.
Sorry.
She'll appear in the movie and it'll be 160, and everybody will be like, "Can you go lower?" No.
I might buy it for a buddy of mine.
We went lower in November in 2022.
My buddy's a comic book fan and a huge Black Cat fan. So, but if nobody ends up taking it, man, that's a bargain at 60. But okay.
That's really nice.
This is my passive aggressive way to. And weird, I said 60, my friend. But I'll meet you in the middle at 55 if you want.
eBay will love it. Facts.
All right. I don't think I had any meat today. Well, does egg count?
What?
Does eggs?
I don't know what's in that.
Well, it doesn't make me vegan, but it does make me vegetarian. Theoretically. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me know, Ed Weird, if you want it, buddy, at 55 for the Black Cat.
Catwoman CCA.
Yeah, absolutely. JD, if you don't mind, my friend. Thank you, sir.
That's the Black Cat CCA. Is that what you meant?
I like the
You mean Black
purplish.
Cat, right, Creative? We don't have a Catwoman CCA.
This is like a joke from Hellcat from Kate Leth. Even he's calling her Catwoman.
Oh my God.
That's one of those reads that slips under the radar. And I would tell people, if you just want something slightly different, go find that.
Thank you, Ron. Yeah.
I think it's only like
I think
16
we've
or
reprimanded
17
creative
issues,
people enough times already. All right. So that one is now down to 55 if anybody wants it.
I just love the comic.
Oh my God. We're actually at the end of the show. All right. So you know what? JD, let's go ahead and spin that wheel, buddy. And if anybody wants Black Cat, throw it up there in the chat. Or you guys can email me too if the show ends. All right, here we go. All right, let's see who the winner is.
No whammies, no whammies.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
No way.
Kenneth, I'm going to go out and buy a Powerball ticket. Can you text me the numbers you would pick?
I can't pick the numbers of Powerball. No way.
Man.
That's funny.
Wow.
I'm going to have to check in the back to see if that package is still here so I can just throw it in.
Did you send this package out?
Paul, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Can we show the Catwoman CCA?
Yeah, let's throw the, you mean the Black Cat?
Yeah. Black Cat, yeah.
He's doing it too.
Anyway, real quick, everybody, 35 people in the room next week. Everybody gets a Lone Ranger hand-drawn sketch card. So, and yes, Frank Miller on Monday. So this is exciting.
We had Mark Russell sign piece today, and I ruined this.
All right, Kenneth.
Asked annoying questions.
Kenneth, please text me. Actually, you can put it up for all of us. What your Powerball numbers are going to be, okay?
Yes,
and then I'm going to go as soon as I leave this office. I don't
care
going to
if 28 of us split it.
Dude, he's won 3 in a row,
know.
dude.
That's why I'm saying I don't care.
Marcus.
I don't care if 28 of us win the Powerball and split it.
Kenneth, are you still there, bud?
Listen, if we can get $800 million to split 28 ways, we'll share.
That's killing me. I had a bad feeling it was coming up. Not a bad feeling, but I had a funny feeling.
I think somebody wants to know about the Black Cat, though.
Yeah, they did. But all right, so everybody, let me know. I lowered that to at my own peril to 55. All right, so and I think we got to go.
You're not going to have any meat tomorrow either. Yeah, there's some. What's next, JD? I don't know what's next. Is it a new show? Or
Pop Goes the Writers is next with Dan and his writing buddy. And after that, we've got Wednesday Warriors with Joey and Ambrosia. Hopefully this week they've had a couple weeks where they just weren't able to do the show. So hopefully live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right, sounds good.
JD,
Check out.
thanks for pushing all the buttons. Alex, thanks for joining us again.
Oh, of course, thank you for having me.
Go check him out.
Check out AR_comics. His YouTube channel, a lot of shorts, a lot of different educational stuff.
1 minute videos. This book isn't good. Bye, everybody.
All right, you got it, Danilo.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
Go out and remember, join me and Robbie on PCP. Pop Culture Philosophers at noon on Friday for the topic of the day.
If you're in the LA area, go hit the con this weekend.
And
We've
then
got cosplayers out there.
And join Nick at 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday night for the original art show. All right. Thanks a lot. Sorry we went a little bit over. JD, take us out, buddy. See everybody.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.